Okay guys, another product review and specialty tools needed for when you're doing this over here and swapping over engines. Come to find out, you can't just use, I will have to show you. Okay guys, let me show you. Let me turn on my light here. It's going to be hard to see, but I'm going to show you. So on an engine, you'll have stuff like this, where it's gonna have like a square, like a bolt that has a square head. Look, even on this oil filter adapter, I'll put you under here, there's a couple of them. I don't know how well you can see that, to that adapter. So that way the oil filter, instead of hanging straight down, there's probably like a cross member or something here that gets in the way, so they added the adapter to bring the filter off to the side instead. Some of these K3500 Chevys in the 90s have canister filters on the top part of the motor or whatnot, but the 99, there's a specific make and model where they still use the original type of metal oil filter. So when you're doing that, you're going to need this specialty set here. We're going to go over what this is, where you find it, and why it's important. So those little square heads, a lot of people, they say, oh, use a 3/8, use a 3/8 ratchet, right? Not so true. You need to buy this set or whatever individual piece you need, but this whole set was 30 bucks, okay? You can't go to O'Reilly's, you can't go to AutoZone, they don't provide this. What it is for those square head bolts is it's a 5/16 square head Torx bit, which is, I'm going to take this out. So anyways, this is made by Carlisle. It's at Napa. Here's the number. There you go. That way you get it. And this is the set. It's a $30 set. Kind of sucks. It seems kind of spendy, but if you're doing this shit every day like I'm doing, sometimes you need the right stuff, right? So here's the set. So when you look at this set, you're gonna have a, let me set it down here. I'm trying to do this without a table because I have parts everywhere, as you can see from the truck, just everywhere. I know I was gonna take you guys on this adventure, but my dad came down, was helping me dismantle, which, you know, the dismantle part's not really the more important part as far as what you're doing. It's more where things go on the motor when you're putting it back together. So we're going to do some videos like this one where I explain things to you, not necessarily show you me working on it, but I'll show you what I've done piece by piece and explain how I did it and what specialty stuff you need. So this is another additional cost, just like all them parts over there I was telling you about. So you got to factor in this stuff. So in this set, you get all these metric Torx, and then when you get over here, you have the 3/8 and 5/16, and then you go into the hex heads, and then they have, I don't know what this triangle one's going to go for. I have not yet seen something like that on a vehicle, but that's kind of interesting. And then you have a reverse square, in case you have a square head sticking out, you can get that. I believe it's a 3/8, that should be. That's an S10, 10 mil. So some of this is metric, some standard. But what we were looking for is this right, where the hell did it go? Hold on. I think it's this one then. Right here. So this right here, let me see if I can get that clear to show better. Keep turning the wrong way. Anyway, that's what angle. There it is. That's probably it. So anyway, you can barely see, but it says 5/16 on the side. They're made by Carlisle. Sold at Napa. Very interesting. Didn't realize that it was a different size than the 3/8 for that. Those square heads, so I ended up having to hunt down this specialty set. These are things people don't tell you about. Specialty tools that can be required, as you can see now, for your motor swaps, some other things, you know, because you gotta take the parts on and off. And for some reason, instead of doing everything 3/8, they got 5/16 square torques and all kinds of things on motors. They don't keep shit simple no more. Like when Model T's came out and one wrench took everything apart, or Model A's, whatever. They don't do that no more. Nowadays, they want shit to be as complicated as possible. So you're determined to not spend, I don't know where I'm at anymore. I'm probably about $8,000–$10,000 in tools in the last year just to do my own stuff. And that's the cheaper end of buying tools, because I don't buy Snap-on and all that crazy high-end shit. I don't even buy Craftsman. So let's just put it that way. So with that being said, we'll just put these specialties right in there. Maybe we'll start shifting down, because we have some other specialty sets too that I keep, but I don't really have a drawer for them specified, you know. I got, you know, crow's feet. I got these stars. These are security stars, so these are good too. They're a star, but they have the hole in them for the security. Because I also have Torx bits that are like this, which are Torx without the security slot. And then there's another set. Oh, they're over here. I was using them. So this is another specialty set you guys will need when you're dealing with doing this stuff. And I recommend you get this 3/8 to 1/4 inch adapter, but these are star key reversed in there, if I can show you better. And that's a nice little set I got at O'Reilly's. And you use those because I'll show you right here. I already took them off, but your studs right here for your exhaust manifolds have a star or reverse on here that you gotta use to take this out and put it on your next block to, you know, nut on your exhaust manifold. So there's going to be situations like that where you're going to need specialty sets, and you're probably going to get in about $300 on just specialty sets of stuff. I mean, you're not looking at it being cheap either way. First of all, you have to buy a box like you've seen in the other videos. That's $1,000 alone. I have an Autel MP 906 scanner and the MP408 oscilloscope. That was another $2,400 to buy. It's just expensive to work on cars once you start really getting into switching the bigger parts, because you need a lot of stuff. If you want to rebuild your own engine blocks, you'll need as well this kind of stuff, which is piston pin removal and alignment tools. Each one of these little aluminum things, believe it or not, cost $50 a piece. These are not cheap. They're made by Kentmore. I got a Kentmore adjustable remover here. I got Kentmore just, you know, regular handheld piston pin remover. These are like worth $100 each to about $60 to $100. I mean, they're valuable. You cannot. And then I even use this. I even use valves, old valves, as to tap and bang stuff out, whatever you gotta do. Plus, I have a press for front end work with a whole bunch of metal jigs and gigs and whatever you need. Today we're still painting. We're doing blue. This is the Dupli color. It's the, here we go. I got a can right here. It's the metal cast high heat, 500 degrees. It's supposed to make stuff look like anodized aluminum. I'll tell you guys a secret. Do not put this behind it like I did. Unless, I mean, I say put it behind it because this self-etch primer will help adhere this high heat paint to the metal. Because this will chew into the metal, bonding, and then that bonds to this, and then so forth, and then it's bonded good. But if you use this greener color, it's going to make that dull down to a greenish, darker look instead of the gray. Or I think that paint is designed to go straight over the metal, so the metal shines through it, because I believe that this metal cast, in my opinion, is basically a clear coat with a pigment color like lightly thrown in it, because it's kind of translucent. But we're recoating this stuff, and we're going to do valve covers, oil pan, we're going to do water pump in the front, and we're going to do a couple other things blue, because we're going to do basically a murdered out block with a blue accent. And if that's what you call it, I don't know. That's what I refer to it to be like. And we were just doing the review, specialty tools, and why you will need to get one of them or some of them like that, those sets. And we're going to paint this, and then we'll get back to you guys once we get more of this block together. As you can see, what we can go over right now, even though I'm trying to cut videos short, I've been making them longer, is we moved sensors over. There was a plug here. We moved this sensor from the old block to here. We put in all the exhaust manifold studs. We put in our spark plugs lightly. We haven't torqued none of this until we get out our torque wrench. We have another issue here where we needed the socket set for this sensor to go in here. It goes in the back here. And then you have down here, we haven't tightened them in, but one's behind here. There's NOx sensors in here. I can show you this one. I think it doesn't have a heat shield on it. And I already replaced this one new. The other one on the other side, still the old one. It didn't have an issue as far as I know. This one did. So the NOx sensors are important. You may want to just replace both, because sometimes your NOx sensor 1 will be up in here and be in the middle of the engine down under your intake manifold. Now, if your intake manifold has the NOx sensor under it, I recommend you replace it even if you think it's not bad, because you would really hate to get this whole thing together, put in your truck, and then turn around. That NOx sensor, if you have it up in here, like the Toyota 3VZ motor has a NOx sensor right back here, and what will happen is then you have to end up tearing the whole top of your engine off again just to get to that one sensor. Or, you know, not the whole thing, but the whole center, like your air intake, your fuel rail, all that shit's going to have to come off again. So to avoid that, if you have a NOx sensor up in the middle and then one down low, replace the one up here at least. My engine has them on both sides and the bottom. They're not up top. I believe this is, no, that's a pressure sensor, not a NOx sensor. You can tell the difference because pressure sensors have air holes where oil or air or whatever goes through as a pressure reading, and NOx sensors don't have a hole. They're just a flat piece of metal. They're designed to feel vibration and knocking in your motor. And then here we found where our old strap went. We fixed. We put it to the exhaust on the truck. It was the wrong placement where it needed to go. It actually goes to here, so we'll be fixing that as well. Next is we're taking off the lower half of the intake, and we're gonna be getting the fuel rail, the lower half of the intake off, and these parts on the front are gonna be coming off as well, so we can put them on the other one. But we're also gonna be painting all these brackets black and like we do this with every motor we're going to do. We got a new water pump. This one's going to be sold as a used part because it's still good, but we'll clean it up for whoever, redo it nice. We won't paint it because we're going to make sure that it's just a chrome look in case people don't want that. we're not going to go the extra part. We had this new, so we didn't really need it, but we bought one new, so we're going to resell that with the water pump, the radiator, the whole cooling system, because none of it was bad. But to, like I said before, avoid, you know, not having your warranty, you have to replace all your cooling stuff for the engine. So just like you have to replace all the cooling stuff for your transmission, which we got in the new transmission, the third one. So we're going to swap parts from that one to that one, and then we're going to get that, or this one I should say, back out to the tranny people again. So that's the third transmission. It looks a lot better. If I didn't have tools sitting on it, I'd show you guys. It looks almost damn near brand new compared to that one. Looks better built too, so hopefully this one's a go and doesn't ruin anything this time. As you can see, we just have magnet trays holding bolts for certain things, so we keep everything where we know we need it. We have bolts down here for valve covers, and we're going to put our valve covers here with this stuff so we remember. Lots and lots of things. We don't mess around. We don't, you know, this is what we do. Now, we were fixing houses, but we're going back to our childhood and we're doing this now. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, life's great. We're just doing the thing, and as stressful as it can get, we're going through it. You can see we paint our transfer case. You know, we painted our cross members. Our front drive shaft's been painted black. I'll show you this out here. I don't know if we went through this and showed it done, but we were out here the other day and we painted the inside of this all black. That way we got rid of the rust, bulk of the rust. I'm not saying there isn't nothing there, but we also sprayed that rust to carbon spray on there to turn it all to carbon underneath, so that way it doesn't keep eating away. You see we painted right there. There's another project. Yep, lots of stuff. So that's it, guys. We're gonna get back to this, and then we'll get back to you guys. Peace, love, prosperity, all that good stuff. We're trying to promote, you know, goodness in the world, not negative stuff. Even though we get frustrated, everybody does. Everybody cusses every now and then. Everybody has issues. Let's not judge people by that. Let's all be good to each other and show each other a better way to live, just like neighbors used to do. All right, guys, if you have any questions, you want to see anything different, just message us in the videos. We'll try and reply back as soon or quick as possible. And once again, please, no rude comments. I understand I'm not the best review person or the best auto channel per se, or even, you know, channel for construction, but we're not trying to show you what everybody else is already showing. We're just trying to show you what we're doing, taking along on our adventures, and explain things, maybe give some pointers that might help somebody, you know, in the future. Because maybe you're working on one of these motors and you look through a bunch of videos, but people are cutting in and out and they're not explaining the square head bolts. Maybe they're not explaining where all this shit goes, and you guys need to know. So that's the problem I found, is a lot of videos, they show you what it looks like before, what they're doing. They show little brief videos of them doing the work from a distance, but they don't show you the details on where stuff goes back sometimes. And when you have those issues like that, it can be quite the thing to try and find videos on. Well, I just tore my motor apart and I don't know how to put it back together, because people do that a lot. Well, let me tell you, you watch video after video, 50 videos, or you go down and you get one of these fancy guys here called the Chilton, and most of your answers are in there. So that's the way to go. All right, guys, have a good day.